Emily Hackett, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here, so thank you very much for joining me. How long have we known each other now? It's been about 3 years, isn't it?
About 3 years now.
And we were thrown together, weren't we, by our other halves, really. So, yeah, who are being very quiet, which is very good. For once, they're being very quiet in the corner.
Our biggest fans.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a team of support, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's brilliant. So, Emily, when we met, I think 3 years ago, you were sort of just starting out in your own sort of journey in business. And since then, you've gone from like strength to strength. I mean, you've done some amazing things. Like you're doing your online coaching business now. You're one half of BTA, obviously with Ross as well, which I think aims to empower people and give them the tools to do amazing things, which is fantastic. So not only are you smashing it on the business side, but you've competed as like a figure model. Is that how I term
Fitness
it?
model.
Fitness model,
Yeah.
perfect. And you've smashed that as well. And you've got some amazing titles under your belt. So you've got like WBFF Pro Fitness Diva 2018. That's the most recent one, is it?
Yes.
Perfect. And then also you won the Body Power Model Search competition, which is a fantastic feat. And I think in your first comp, it was the Pure Elite Pro back in 2016, which is amazing. And I mean, look at you, you're beautiful. So,
So you.
oh, thank you. So, but like, what I'm interested to like start off with is if we wind back the clock, say like maybe 10 years or so, and we'll have a look at, I'm going to show you a picture because part of obviously the podcast is like supporting women and showing them that they can achieve amazing things. And I think it's really helpful that we sort of wind back the clock and show people like where you started and how far you've come.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we go to the first picture, so Emily, how old are you in this picture?
So I was probably just turned 18 in this
wow.
picture, as you can tell by my terrible hair.
It's not that bad. Maybe a little Amy Winehouse.
Yeah. That's what everyone used to call me Amy Winehouse, actually. Even when I turned up to a train station, people were like, oh, look, it's Amy Winehouse. Like,
That's quite good.
yeah.
I suppose. You didn't have the tattoos.
It wasn't the look I was going for, though, so it kind of really got to me. But yeah, no tattoos, just terrible hair and massive fringe, so...
I love it. It's certainly a strong look, shall we say.
Yeah, you could say that.
So tell me what's happening in your life here. Like, what are you doing? Where's your mindset at? Just talk to me a bit about that, if you can.
So I was in college back then, and I did dance. So I always thought that my life would pan out being a dance teacher, teaching in a college, teaching kids, you know, just settling down really early. I wanted to have kids at 24, wanted to be married. So that's completely changed. I was quite a negative person back in the day as well. So didn't have the mindset I had today, didn't know the things I knew today. I spent a lot of time with friends and family who are also quite negative as well, and kind of like brought me down, if you say it like that. So completely different to the person I am today.
My goodness, that's really, that's interesting to know. Because it's like, do you think that's something that you've learnt with that's come with age, or do you think it's like completely by sort of changing your circumstances and changing?
I think it's both. It's definitely come with age and different change of circumstances. After that, I went to university, which then I thought I knew life. I thought that was it. That's like, this is me forever. This is who I'm going to be. Yeah. And then every single year, I just changed and changed. And I think, again, it comes to the people that you meet along the way, the decisions you make. All of that definitely played a massive part.
Oh, that's cool. I think at this age, there's a phrase that I heard that you're young enough to know everything.
Yeah. And that's what you think. You think, yeah, this is me forever. I'm just going to party and, go out and get drunk at a time. And that's not the case. And that's, I danced then as well. So I wasn't the most healthiest dancer, you can imagine. Lots of hungover sessions, just sitting on the floor, like...
So it was really about sort of like, well, YOLO life, wouldn't you say? Like living for just like the immediate future?
Yeah, exactly. I think back then I spent so much time living in the past or living in the future. I never lived for the present. I was always very anxious to know where my life was going to go.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm quite an organised person, and I like to know, you know, where I've got to be, what time I've got to be. But back then it was just always like, as I said, my life was planned. It's like kids at 24, you know, dance teacher doing this. So it's nice to know that I've gone down a different path, and there's so many opportunities that are in my, that I can take on now, and it's not like my life is set out. I can do whatever I want to do.
Okay. No, that's awesome. I love it. So, okay, Emily, 10 years or so ago, Amy Winehouse lookalike. Obviously, then we go through to the picture as you are today, which is amazing. Yeah. So tell me about Emily in this picture here.
So I'm in sunny Mexico.
She always helps.
This helps. This was literally 2 weeks after I competed for WBFF. This is after I won my pro card. This is why I'm still quite lean. But yeah, for me here, it's completely different mindset on, a different approach on life. Just obviously physical changes as well, but mentally, here I was just starting out my dance career, I suppose. So I just started to get into fitness. And this is where I actually met my coach. Okay. Well, I knew of her before, but she started prepping for shows.
In this picture
in this picture, I did a gig with her, and she was so lean. And I was, can you help me? I'm trying to, get into shape and stuff. And she was like, you just need to sort your diet out and stuff. Okay. So ever since then, that's kind of when I went up from there.
Okay. Oh no, that's brilliant. Yes, it does. So between, obviously, from Amy Winehouse days, I'm going to refer to them, to Em of now, what has been like the fundamental things that you've changed, like in terms of your mindset and like specific actions that you've taken? What's sort of been the most influential in sort of getting you towards like today? I
think most importantly is the people I've surrounded myself with. Since I've met you, with my partner Ross, like my whole network has just changed. I went from being with my ex-partner who, was just about going out to Rochester every weekend and getting drunk. And I always knew at that time, like, this wasn't how I wanted my life. I was getting really frustrated because I didn't want to just do the same thing all the time. I was like, wanted to hang around people that inspire me and stuff. So that's when I got my coach on board, and I wanted more people like that in my life to look up to, just really bring out the best in me. So then when I met my partner, Ross, who's the most positive person you ever meet, as you know. Yeah. He was the one who kind of introduced me to all these people, and I then started doing my own research, really got into like Tony Robbins and all these inspirational speakers. And we actually went to an event a couple of years ago with Ed Smith. Okay. And he does the Breakthrough event. So this is when I first got into like just kind of curious about the mindset. And it's very American and like, close your eyes and think of where you want to be, all this kind of stuff. But it really did open my eyes. And like, that's when I said to Ross, that day we sat down, we said like, we want to be running fitness retreats, and like everything we want to do in the future, nothing's changed. How we get in there is, as we're saying, every year, like it changes how we're going to get to our end destination, but the goal stays the same the whole time. Okay. But we just keep growing throughout the process.
That's amazing. So you have would you say it's fair to say that you just said you have a very set idea of where you want to go? And do you think that and at what point, was it at this stage when you were just like dancing and you met your coach? Is that the point where you had you started to develop that sort of laser focus?
Definitely not.
No?
No. So this is when I was with my ex. Okay. So this was probably when I just before I met Ross, I think. So as I said, I always knew that I wanted to do more. But this was a safe me, and this is like adventurous Em. Okay. Back then it was like, I just wanted stability and safety, and being with my ex meant I could have money, we could go on nice holidays. But it wasn't like, I think as I went through the years I wanted more independence, and I wanted to do things for myself. Okay. Which I think I've done pretty well.
Yeah, done amazingly. So do you feel like in terms of like how you've developed, you've kind of grown away from that need for stability and safety, or do you still have like anchor points throughout your life that sort of tie you and like keep you do you have like people that anchor you and habits that anchor you but allow you to also go and expand and sort of like move forward with your life? Does that make sense?
Definitely. I think it's quite hard to change. Well, you say who you are, but you can change who you are. As you said, it's a habit that you create in your life, and it's it's hard to get out of that mindset of who you used to be. So sometimes that can still creep up. You know, sometimes I can still kind of get in my little safety box and think, oh, this is nice where we are now. But then it's like you need to keep looking to that end goal where you want to be. Like I know that I want more, and I know that I want our business to take off. I want it to be international. I want retreats run all over the world, and that's all going to happen staying in your little safety box. So those days when I have that little thought come into my head, you know, saying like you're not good enough, or you know, why should this happen to you, these exciting opportunities? Again, it's using those kind of new habits to clear that thought that you're having. Does that make sense? So like meditation and, you know, gratitude diaries and things like that, and just remind yourself, because I'm not an actual person that is just, well, I am now. I'm learning to be more positive and stuff anyway. You know, people say to me I come across quite positive, but I still have those negative thoughts. Nowhere near as much as I used to, because now I can deal with them better. So it's just coming up with better coping mechanisms when those things come across.
That's good. In terms of like when you like have a down day, is there anything you would say that triggers that off in particular, or can it be?
I think for me, it's when I feel like I'm not moving forward.
Okay. And it takes a little longer, because I think you're similar to me. You want everything like...
And that's the thing, and I think most people do. Like, they think people just want things like, you know, immediately, because that's how life betrays that you can have it these days, you know, like 6-week challenges, and like people get like amazing results in 8 weeks and things like that. But when it comes to your business, it's a lot longer, and it takes time. You know, they always say it takes about 3 years for your business to even get going. Yeah. And we're like nearly 3 years into that now, and it's just started to really take off. But you just got to keep going the momentum, because as soon as you stop, then that's when you're at risk of failing. Because they say like most small businesses fail within 5 years.
Yes.
So I'm so not going to let that happen.
That's good.
But yeah, standing still is what kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like I feel like... or not having a clear goal up on the board. So we have all our goals written down for the month, for the week, for the year, up on sticky sheets in our living room.
Amazing.
And say if we get really busy sometimes in something, we can maybe forget to like review our goals.
Okay.
Because the thing, me and Russ, when we get going, we get good, but then we might stop. Because you get so busy, you need to come back to it and review it again. So as soon as I get to that point when we stop, to kind of freak out a bit, because I'm like, oh no, we need to go back and make sure we're on the track. But it's good. I like that part of me, because it keeps us going. I think if you didn't have that, I would get, not lazy, but I would get stuck and safe and just cruise by, want to fly by.
That's good. And do you think that attitude to like always drive forward and that focus has helped you like when you've competed? Because you have literally gone in and completely smashed it in every competition that you've gone into. Yeah,
it definitely helps. I think it helps that I'm quite vain anyways. Even since I was younger, I was so insecure, and I was really unconfident, even though I did modelling from a young age and stuff. But I did actually put up an Instagram post a few weeks ago about, you know, why I got into modelling in the first place. I think for me, I used to use it as an escape to like prove to people that I was this confident person and stuff, when actually deep down I wasn't. You know, it was like fake it till you make it kind of thing. And it was my mask. But now it's like, when I do a shoot now or anything I do, like that confidence is real. That's really awesome. Which is nice, because I think I've actually found myself over these last few years, definitely. Like I don't feel like it's lost little puppy anymore. Like I feel like I've found my feet. So. And
is that, do you think, as a result of, well, what you tell me? How do you think you've developed that? Is it as a result of faking it and then it becoming real confidence, or is there other things that have helped you become less insecure?
Yeah, as I said, I think it's just finding yourself and just actually accepting yourself for who you are. You know, for me, I'm always comparing myself to other people, which I'm sure every young girl is because of social media these days. But yeah, for me, it's like, okay, well, this is who I am, and you know, like, and I think real confidence comes across a lot better anyway than fake confidence. You know what I mean? Like real confidence is sexy, and that's what I want to portray. So.
That's awesome. Because I mean, like, especially in the fitness industry, it must be very hard to, like, when you go on stage, you're pitted against other girls. So having that need to compare is like not integral, but it's instilled in that industry. So like, how do you, especially when you go on stage, how do you sort of manage that? like in terms of keeping your confidence?
And this was one of the reasons why I wanted to compete in the first place. But I always said, I just want to do it to see where I'll come and see what people think of me, because that was what it was back then. I just wanted to know what others would think of me. But now it's like I want to do it for me, and I want to do it because I know that I've worked really hard to get where I am, and I should show off my body, why not?
Yeah.
And I think for me, because I was a dancer as well, I love being on stage. Like, I hated the whole dance industry. That's why I got out of it. You know, there's no pay, you get treated like crap. That's why I moved over to the fitness, so it was really nice to be able to do something that incorporated dance as well. So being on stage, the glam, the bikinis, people looking at you, performing, just doing what I loved. So for me, that part of it doesn't bother me at all. Like, that's the bit I just can't wait for. Going through prep is good, it's hard, but the thing that gets me through is just like show day and being on stage and just showcasing what I've worked really hard for.
That's really good. So, like, in terms of how long will for the people that don't know, talk me through what a prep would look like in terms of when you're preparing for a competition. How long will it be? What will it typically look like?
So, again, I think it depends on everyone else and what how long they actually need. Every individual is different. So I always say, like, I'm pretty much prepping now. You know, I'm in my bulk phase now, and then I'll do this up until June, and then my cut phase will start for about 4 to 5 months, and then it's show day, and then it just, you know, it's continuous. There's no, because people always say to me, oh, well, like, when you're not competing in off season, do you just eat what you want and, you know, don't train? I'm like, there's no difference to what I do when I'm cutting to when I'm bulking. I just eat more food.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Eat more food. I'm still doing the same amount of HIIT training. I'm still training really hard. I'm still doing my carb cycling that I do. And I'm still tracking everything that I do. Okay, maybe a little bit more relaxed in the sense if I want to go out on the night out, I will drink some alcohol. Or if I want to go on a holiday, I can be a bit more flexible. Whereas if prep, you can't do that. It's like there's no alcohol. But there's no nights out for me because I like to have a drink on the night out. So I'll just rather stay away from it. But that's the difference in my eyes anyway.
Okay. That's good. So when you're on prep, you're fully in. And that is it. And that is all you focus on.
Yep, pretty much. And that's when I can become quite an unsociable bunny. I think I really struggled the first year I ever competed because, as I said, I was still in my old friendship group.
Okay.
Who used to go out all the time. So they'll always be asking me to come out, and it was through summer when everyone's having barbecues, and, you know, as I said, I'd rather just stay away from it than put myself in that situation and be tempted or, you know, I would just feel awful for it. So I just kind of stay clear from it. But now a lot has changed since the first year I competed. I do a bit more like flexible dieting, which means that if I want to go out for a meal and not go off plan, I can make it fit my macros. So I can go out to Nando's and still enjoy food with people and friends and not be so unsociable, which makes me love it more. I don't feel like I'm missing out on that part of my life.
No, it's really good. And like you said, going back to what you were saying, it's about like coming away, and the people you surround yourself with is really key.
Yeah.
And the key people that you're with being supportive of your journey and what you want to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. So like my first year, my friends were quite against it. My mum was against it. They were like, oh, you know, is this safe? Like, are you going to do it again? And, you know, all this kind of stuff. But now, and even one of my best friends says to me that now she, you know, she can see how much I love it, you know, how it's pretty much my life now, and they accept it, which is nice as well, so you don't feel like you have to hide that side of your life from them, because before I felt like I couldn't talk to my friends about competing, or because they just wouldn't understand it. Whereas now I can. They're probably not really that interested, but they'll still listen to you. And obviously that's what a friend is for. You may not agree with what everyone wants to do, but as long as you support them through the process, that's all that matters.
Exactly. And part of like having friends is to make you've got your friends' best interest at heart.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously you have concern for their welfare if you're going to be doing crazy ass things. You
exactly.
know?
I'm like, I may not support you going out drink all the time, but you know. So what I'm doing is a little bit healthier than you. So, exactly.
No, that's cool. So in terms of, like, obviously being on prep, like, is really tough, I think. Like, have you had any times when, like, it's been tougher? Have you been for any preps that have been tougher than others? Or
I think for me, it was not last year, the year before. I did prep with my partner. It was the first show that we ever did together. And I think 6 weeks into prep, my dad had a heart attack and got taken into hospital and sadly passed away about 3 weeks after. So that was really tough because the first thing I wanted to do was obviously quit. Like Ross was bringing in my meals to the hospital because I spent every single day there, all day, all night. You know, didn't want to eat anything. But, you know, he was still bringing in my meals for me. And I kind of sat down with him. I said, look, I don't know what to do. And he said, look, it's, you know, it's okay if you want to stop. Like, you know, your dad's in hospital, you need to spend time with him. But for me, it was like, what would my dad have wanted me to do?
Yeah.
And he would have been like so proud of what I did. And even though he had dementia, he never really understood it. But he was always like, oh, you should look at her muscles. And, you know, because he was really old. He was like 84 when he died.
Okay.
So for me, it was just doing it for him and not myself. So even though I wasn't probably eating properly or anything, the days when I couldn't go and visit him because of the visiting hours, I would just go to the gym. I was still training because for me, it was an escape.
Okay.
To, you know, to put those thoughts and emotions into training and just have an hour where I couldn't think about anything because all the other time was just thinking about him.
Yeah, of course.
So for me, it was an escape.
Okay, so you used it as an escape on that occasion. Okay, bless you. That must have been really tough.
Yeah, it was tough, but as I said, you know, I probably didn't maybe get like the result that I could have got because maybe I like threw away a few weeks. But for me, you know, as I said, it wasn't about me at that time. It was about doing it for him. So I am glad that I continued to do it and I had the support from Ross through it as well. I think if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done it. No. I wouldn't have even considered it. So to have his support meant the world to me.
Amazing. Oh, what a great person Ross is.
If only he was here listening intensely.
If only you could hear. Sitting in the corner. No, that's amazing. So, and I think as well, the fact that obviously you've been through several preps, you've been through one which has been, from what you said, and like listening to you tell it to me now, has been extremely hard, and yet you still kept going. That puts you in a great place to help other women.
Yeah.
Because I think part of your business model is to do online coaching, help other girls get stage ready and compete themselves. Like, why is it so? What made you decide that you wanted to go from being a competitor to being like a coach and helping other girls go through that process?
It's really weird actually because I remember when I first started getting into competing, I did say to Ross like, oh, like one day I'd love to, you know, like coach people for shows and stuff, and it was never in my plan to do that. But I think for me, like as I said, getting a result that I wanted and having a relationship that I have with my coach as well, it's just nice to be able to, you know, we always do just like normal transformations of people anyway, but that feeling of seeing people succeed and knowing that you help them get to stage and, you know, achieving things that they never thought they could before, like that's what it's about for me. Just building that relationship with them, watching them go through something that is really, really tough, but then they come out the other end like a better person and, you know, that you inspire them to do better things. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of girls say, oh, my coach Emily, she's a real inspiration, which is really lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
And and I know that for a fact that when they compete, you go along to the show and support them, when sometimes even their family don't.
And I'm running around like a headless chicken. And the show that I just did in November, I was like backstage, and then we had about 8 people, so everyone's on different times. I was running back when I was on stage, running backstage, making sure they were ready, filming them, cheering them on, telling them to smile, all this stuff. But I loved it. And one of the things that one of the girls said to me, one of my clients, Vita, when we was backstage, she said, like, I love how much passion you have for this. She was like, you can just see like the passion coming out of you. Like you're just like here, there, everywhere. And I loved it. So I'm really looking forward to this November and having like 12 people competing this time. And, you know, hopefully like we can do this on like a more international level as well. So really excited for that.
So is the next stage to get people to international comps as well, or is
Definitely. Well, for me, it's international for myself. I want to do that first, experience it. I'm planning to do the Australia WBFF show end of this year in October, which is like their second biggest show.
Okay.
So the first show is the Wells in the Bahamas, which would be amazing. And I could have done that. I was going to do that, but I decided to go away and do their second biggest show.
Okay.
Get like, hopefully win a title, have that under my belt, come back to here, do the Europeans in London 2 weeks after, hopefully win that as well, and then go to the Wells next year when people know more who you are.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, there's Emily, she won the Australia show, or the Europeans, because it is very political.
Is it?
It's like any federation. So, you know, it's the more chance of them knowing who you are, the more like you are to at least place top 5 or something like that. So that's the goal.
Okay. No, that's really interesting. And then in terms of like your other business and your and BTA, talk to me about where that's heading.
We're heading in loads of different directions. It's good.
That.
And that's what I love about our business, is that there's nothing that we can't do. Like we've got fitness retreats up and running. We've got our online stuff as well, and then obviously the competing stuff. So the next step for us is building our fitness retreats. We've got 2 free running this year, local to us, and then the goal for next year is to run our first one in Barbados.
Amazing! Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, it'll be
Sign me
amazing.
up for that.
Well, you're a client of ours, so if you win Client of the Year, you could be coming on the trip to Barbados.
Oh my goodness, I need to try.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
Exactly, but that's what we love, because we can use things like that while we're coaching our clients, you know, give them something to work towards, get them excited. So if you say to someone when they first sign up, right, you've got the chance to win an all-expensive trip to Barbados.
Yeah.
You're going to work hard.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
You ain't going to slack then, are you? So a little competition goes a long way.
No, that's awesome. So you've got loads of different things going on, which is amazing. And do you think that, like, part of the reason that you find your life so fulfilling is because you've got so many different things? Are you kind of person that needs lots of different projects going on? You need to be sort of busy, yeah?
Definitely, but it is good to focus on one thing at a time. And that's what we've learned over the last 3 years. You know, there's a name for it. It's called shiny object syndrome.
Oh, yeah. I totally get that, yeah.
Where you have all these ideas and they're all really, really good, but there's a time and a place for it. So what we've learned this year is to just do one thing and do it really well and then move on to the next thing. So over Christmas, we've been working on our online business, getting up our new program up and running, which starts next week. And then we can put all our focus into our retreats that we've got coming up this year and get those filled up.
Oh, awesome.
And then it'll be on to the next thing. But I've already got lots of new ideas in mind. But as I said, let's just put them in the memory bank for now.
Do you want to talk about them or will Ross kill you?
No, you won't kill me. No. Well, for me, one of the things that I do want to focus on is I love my strength training.
Yes.
So my goal this year was to do powerlifting competition, but I got really bad injury. I got a really bad neck strain. God knows what from. It's just an imbalance somewhere that my body just doesn't agree to it at this point in time. So not saying that I won't do it again, because I definitely do want to do it again. But as I said, because I've got the competition coming up at the end of the year, I need to focus on that more. Otherwise, if I injure myself now, it means that, you know, I could
ruin your prospects in that competition.
Exactly. So never say never. I definitely want to do that again. But part of me, I want to do like a strength training course, and I want to do like strength training programs focused for women, and I want to have like a little niche as well. So that's something that we're going to work on, maybe like a build program for women and just focus on that strength side of it as well. So that's something I want to do for me personally, that we can still incorporate into the business as well.
Oh, super. That sounds really exciting. Because I think that it's becoming more like a lot of women are now starting to want to get into sort of strength training, and they want to get involved in it.
Yeah, exactly. So, it is really popular in a minute.
Oh, that's really cool. So yeah, like I suppose, like from what you've told me, you have like a overall vision of where you want to go, but it's about identifying like your immediate goals and not getting distracted by the shiny objects. I'm like the worst for it. I'm like literally like, oh, this is shiny, I can go. Oh, I can do this. I want to do that. So yeah, but it is about having that razor sharp focus. So what do you do like on a daily basis that makes sure that you you keep focus on that goal? What are the like sort of like micro habits that you have that keep you focused to going towards your specific goal that you have? Is there?
So as I said, like for us, it's writing them down. That's the first thing you need to do. Because I think so many people have these goals and these ideas, but they never write them down anywhere.
And how often do you like check in with them?
So we have our weekly goals, monthly, weekly, and then daily. So the daily is more like a to-do list of what we need to do for that week. And then every night we'll come home and we'll say, have we done this? Yes or no? And if we haven't, we'll move it on to the next day. So that's really important to review them, because we used to be really good at writing them, but then like 6 months have gone and we look at the board and we're like, oh, like we haven't actually reviewed what we've done.
Okay.
So this year we've been start of end of last year till now, we've been really on it and just like reviewing it every single day, making sure, you know, we're moving forward, and if we're not moving forward, why is that, and what can we do to change it? Because that's the thing as well, if you're not getting the result you want, it's obviously something that you're doing, so you need to change it. There's no point in doing the same thing over and over again, and it's bringing you out the same result. You need to change it in order to get to where you want to be. So that's one of the things I do. I used to be really into my meditation.
Okay.
Haven't done it a lot lately. I do definitely want to get back into it. But again, you need to build it into like your lifestyle. You need to make it a habit.
Okay.
Just doing it here and there isn't really going to kind of cut it. And I think it depends what your insight of meditation is. You know, some people think meditation is in a room, like silence and floating.
Yeah.
But, you know, meditation could just be just having 10 minutes on your own a day, just to be a bit more mindful, or just have some time to yourself, or not be on your phone for an hour or something like that. So for me, I have to have a cut-off point now, and I can see Ross probably smiling at me thinking, you still don't do that. A cut-off point at 9:30 every night to come off my phone, because again, things like social media can affect me and getting to where I want to be. It can cause me to be quite, insecurities, all that kind of thing coming up again, comparing myself to other people. So I find that having a cut-off point from that at a certain time of the night helps me relax as well, and things like that. So that helps keep me focused as well. So, but yeah, the goals, 100%. And just waking up and, telling yourself every day what it is you want to do. Like, why are you doing this?
The why is a huge thing,
The
isn't
why
it?
is a massive thing. So like those days when you're like on prep and like you've got to get out of bed and do your fasted cardio, and like that's the thing that you need to tell yourself that will get you out of bed. It's the reason why you get to the stage in the first place. So yeah, remember your why.
Do you have what are your thoughts on just briefly, like on vision boards and that sort of thing? Do you have a vision board or that sort of thing? I love vision boards.
I'm terrible, because for years I've said, right, I'm going to do a vision board, and then I never did, and finally at the end of last year I did it, and it's so nice now because, we call it like your 10 minutes of meditation before you go to sleep, and it's like for us it'd just be like lying in bed just looking at our vision boards. We've got our sausage dogs up there, Chippy and Sizzle.
I love that.
That are going to come into play at some point. We've got like, for me, I don't have a vision of where I want to live yet, because I haven't travelled enough. We want to travel a lot more to see what feels like home, but so instead I've just got like lots of travel ideas. I've got an idea of a house in my mind, and it's more like the community as well, like building our empire. So I've got pictures of people I idolise, and I was like being a WBFF champ, things like that up on there as well. And I think it definitely does help keep you focused, especially those days when you're feeling a bit low. I had it a few weeks ago, like I had such a high in January, like a big fluctuation of clients coming in. Finances are really good, and then it kind of hits a standstill for a couple of days, and what comes up must come down. So I felt a bit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like down and demotivated.
Yeah, exactly. Just like... I was exhausted as well, because I was working so hard, and I think one day I just said to Ross, I was like, I can't do anything today, and he's like, when's the last time you had a day off? I was like, I don't actually know. And he was like, well, there you go, look, just have a day off. So what we did is we just went out, we went for a walk, come home, and then I spoke to my business mentor, and he said, look, if I was you, it's really good to have those days, and you will have those days, but use those days to go back and reflect on what you want in the future, and to nourish yourself. So like meditate, or like writing your journal, or go back to your vision boards and things like that. So I just used that day to finish, because I hadn't finished my vision board. So I used that day to finish it, and then I just started writing in my diary as well, like things that I'm grateful for and stuff, and it kind of helped. Brought me back.
It centres you back in.
It centres you, and then the next day I felt fine. I was fresh again, and you're always going to get those moments. You can't go in life always on a high and thinking that nothing's going to come your way, because it will. You will get barriers and you will get knocked down, but it's how you get back up is the most important thing.
Very random question, because I feel like this year, January, it's like you, I started off, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I've got this goal, I'm really focused and that sort of thing, and I was really ready to go great guns, and then I just literally fell off a cliff. Yeah. And I literally felt that January just kicked my butt completely this year, honestly, and it's crazy. Do you think, and I've pulled myself back up since then, refocusing, taking taking care of myself. What's really helped me as well is not going to my usual eating habits and like watching trash TV and Netflix and going to bed late and just generally pissing around on the internet. To be honest, but would you say for you, and you may or may not know the answer to this, would you say that coincides with like your hormone levels or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. That's going to play a massive part, especially with training as well. You know, you're going to get your days when you smash it in the gym, you're going to get your days when you don't. And I think for me as well, I get really quite disheartened when when I am tired and, you know, I'm in the gym and I'm thinking, oh, like, I just want to be able to put my, you know, my max effort into this and I'm just not doing it. But those are the days you just need to listen to your body.
Be kind.
Be kind to it. And rest is, you know, not just in the gym, but rest in general, like in your working life. You know, it's important to have those days off. Because if you don't, you're just going to go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not actually going to move forward in your business at all. You're not going to be productive. You know, the amount of times I've sat there at like 6 o'clock in the evening, just staring at a screen, not actually doing anything, and then just end up wandering off on like online shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, I should have just taken half the day off.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Because I would have been more productive that way. So definitely listen to your body, nourish it. You will come back a lot stronger.
Take that time out and chill.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, Emily, it's been amazing to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people like reach out to you? Like if they want to connect with you and find out about what you're doing and all the exciting things you've got going on, where can they find you?
So I'm on Instagram. So are you going to put the username up on the screen? So Instagram, Facebook, our website, business page and personal page as well. Okay. That's where you can find me.
Perfect. Anything else you want to share with ladies, like any other tips or anything? I think you've covered it off really nicely.
Yeah. No, I think I've touched on everything I wanted to, and just want to say thank you for having me, and I hope that I've inspired some other ladies out there as well to really smash it in their business. I'm
sure you have, because like, I mean, looking at where you were and how you've completely changed your mindset and you've completely turned your life around, and now you have this amazing vision and this empire you're building.
And hopefully we can have this interview in the next 5 years.
Yes!
On the beach in the Bahamas somewhere.
That would be so much. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Sipping cocktails. That's what we'll be doing.
We'll do an update. That would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll hold you to that.
I'll hold you to it too.
Thank you.
Thank you.